You're talking about a man that doesn't study or read anything. He certainly doesn't have any grip on strategic thinking, historical experience, his managerial experience. I would question. I think he is preeminently a marketing genius. He's a salesman. And you can go back through his career. It's not marked by one long, uninterrupted march to greatness and success. He's been bailed out several times from total bankruptcy. But I think he is absorbed in what I would call financial capitalism, which is what dominates New York City. These are people that do not build things. In other words, they're not raising factories, they're not developing products. These people are financial capitalists. They trade in money and transaction fees. And I think that's what he's accustomed to. That doesn't prepare you for the international system. It doesn't give you pause. But I don't think this matters to him, because if you really believe you're the smartest man in the room, and I get the impression that's his view, he wants everybody in the room to agree with him. And so he looks for people that agree with him. He doesn't look for people that disagree. And so in this sense, he's a little bit like Winston Churchill was. Winston Churchill was the sort of person who dismissed expert opinion if it didn't appeal to him, if it stood in the way of something he wanted to do. And then he also tended to hold in high regard people with opinions who were of his class, either aristocrats or very moneyed. I think with Donald Trump, he's surrounded by lots of people with money. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's necessarily a good thing either. So you're talking to somebody who has a different view of the world that may not be informed very well by reality. And then he brought an Air Force 3-star back to active duty, promoted him to 4 stars. That is General